You know, it's so easy to sit here and say, if I was George Lucas, this is what I would have done. So that's exactly what we're going to do today. After this intro. Hey everyone, I'm Paul Slavonik. I'm the author of Legacy Drive, and as most people know at this point, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Today is October 22nd of 2019. That is the day after the final Episode 9 trailer just dropped. You know, as a huge Star Wars fan, obviously, I'm excited. I kind of have mixed feelings about it. I'm not really going to dive too much into the new trilogy. I want to go back, way back in time. It's just a few years, but back to when it was headlines when George Lucas sold Star Wars to Disney. At first I thought it was a really great idea, and I understand why he did it, because it's Disney. He's really safeguarding and protecting his work with, a massive mega corporation that's not going to sell it out to the highest bidder. Now that we're almost wrapped up with this new trilogy, episodes 7, 8, and 9, I kind of just had this random idea that I wanted to share with you, that what if George Lucas had taken another approach to selling Star Wars, as far as transferring ownership to someone else, aside from selling it to a company like Disney? Would I have done it differently? Yes. When I think back to what made Star Wars great, it was the little guys, the Rebel Alliance, so to speak, fighting against the big film companies, and that's really what made Star Wars what it is. It was that competitive edge, like really punching above their weight. And if you ask me, I think Star Wars is kind of missing that approach now. They are the big guys. They are, in a sense, the Galactic Empire or the First Order, speaking in modern terms now. But what if he had taken a different approach? If I had the opportunity back then to have, an audience with George, and he would ask me, Paul, what would you do if I'm wanting to kind of step down from Star Wars and transfer ownership to the next generation so that they can run with it? What would you do? Here's what I would have done. I would have hosted a film contest, a fan film contest. And bear with me here. Just hear me out all the way to the end. You create this entire contest. And when I say contest, I mean like televised contest. Like you put out some submission forms and everything, and everyone submits a film based on certain criteria or certain guidelines. You create a list of finalists, and then you bring them in to what would ultimately be kind of a television show, miniseries, so to speak, or a reality, whatever you want to call it, a kind of a uber behind the scenes of it could be like anywhere from 10 to 15 different groups of people that make up these independent film companies, or just a bunch of individuals that want to go for it. And they have this max prize set by George Lucas himself for $1 million. Whoever wins this competition wins $1 million. And they start off with, little projects they have to create. You're going to create a film using, this kind of equipment, this kind of budget, and it has to be this time frame, various topics, Star Wars related and everything. And as they kind of go on and it gets down to like the final 4 or 3 or whatever, they bring it all the way back to the equipment that Lucasfilm had to use during the original Star Wars days. I mean, talk old analog equipment. No CGI. They have to rely on great story. They have to rely on their own ingenuity to get these things done, to create an awesome video. Whoever wins this thing would be, obviously they would win $1 million from George. But the twist would be, hey, guess what? Star Wars is yours now. Now, I know that's going to sound outrageous, but when you think about it, I think that's what Star Wars is. It was always about the little guy punching above his weight. You think back to the characters in Star Wars. The little guys punching above their weight, trying to go against this impossible force. They keep getting pushed back, and all of a sudden they break through and win. And that's what Star Wars always was to me. I think that would have been. It's easy to sit here and say all this, but I think had George Lucas transferred ownership of Star Wars to a small film company, along with all the rights, all the stuff, everything that Disney got, this small company would have got. And I think that when I look at the small companies that, really have the heart and the passion to do these kinds of things, I think that's what Star Wars is missing nowadays. There's a lot of criticism, obviously, for Disney going around that, Disney is just turning Star Wars into a cash cow. They've got the movies and the action figures and the theme parks and the cereal and the potato chips and all that stuff. But what if it had just gone to a small company? It would have rocked the entire film industry, and I think in a great way, because, Star Wars was and should be about the little guy. So I know, outlandish idea. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to, let me know your criticisms, your thoughts, if you think it's crazy, you think it's stupid, if you agree, or if you kind of want to expand on that idea. I'd love to hear from you. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe if you want to support the channel. Give me a big old thumbs up if you liked what I talked about, or if you don't like what I talk about, that's fine too. I'm just here to share my thoughts. So guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I will catch you next time. Peace!